Wounded Warrior program, but Wounded Warrior Behind Bars program. This is the organization that she set up herself, and we're going to have her talk a little bit about it. But before we have her discuss that, what we want to first let people know. No, we just practice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He wants to practice. I don't need practice, but it's okay.
What we'd like to know, let you know first, that the subjects, some of the subject matters and the conversation and the topics that we're going to talk about are very, very controversial. I mean, very controversial. Some of y'all guys is not going to like it, all right? I'm going to let you know that right now. Some of y'all guys are not going to like what we're about to say. But however, we're going to say it because we are the veterans. Damn it, get with it. All right? So, Abdul Shahid Munir with my lovely co-host.
Robin Walker Salas.
All right, Robert Walker Salas. Tell us a little bit about the program before we start our show. I wanted to give people an introduction of who we are. All right, so that sounds good, right?
Yeah, bro.
So,
how do I look, man? Good, I know, thank you.
Yeah, everybody on there.
are you going out for a smoke break?
Yeah.
I want to go. Are we waiting for something? What are we
We
waiting
get ready to do a show, miss.
Okay, okay. Well, I thought we were just waiting for something. But that's good.
All right, so we're going to go live now?
Whenever you're ready.
On both?
Yeah.
Ready?
No, record.
I know that.
Yeah, and live on that one.
All right. We're ready to start recording and now.
And Facebook.
Live.
Welcome back, everybody. It's your man Abdul Shahid Munir. That's right, Abdul Shahid Munir. Try to say that 5 times. Abdul Shahid Munir, Abdul Shahid Munir, Abdul Shahid Munir, Abdul Shahid Munir. All right? Now, first of all, We're the Veterans TV show is very, very happy to be back. I am joined by my lovely co-host. Introduce yourself, please.
I'm Robin Walker Salas.
All right.
Wounded Warriors Behind Bars.
All right. So, I'd just like to give you guys a head up who we are co-hosting with. And she's going to be joining us, right, on each and every, in the future, We're the Veterans TV show. We have a new show, We're the Veterans TV show, that y'all haven't seen for a minute. And it will be on community access television. So, listen, before we start, we got to give them a warning, right? Give them a warning.
Yes. We're going to be covering some very controversial subjects. You know, the 2020s is a decade of clarity and transparency. And transparency is becoming the norm rather than the exception. So we're going to be discussing some things that might make people uncomfortable and that might not agree with some people. So just know that maybe not today, but in the future, some of the topics may not be agreeable to some of the people in the audience.
All right. So that was our footnote warning. All right. Disclosure. We have to say this. I'm going to repeat it. Our topics are going to be very, very, very controversial. All right. But by me saying that, I got to say this. This is important to all veterans, right? Every veteran out there. I don't care who you are. I don't care when you serve. I don't care how much time you serve. This is going to be very, very important, right? We, as veterans, all veterans, no matter who you vote for, what you call yourself, no matter who, we got to stick together. We have to come together. All right? I'm going to say this again. I don't care who you voted for. I don't care what flag you carrying. You're a veteran. We have to come together. We have to advocate for each other. I don't care if you spent 1 day in the service, 1 day at boot camp, you're a veteran, damn it. All right? If you spent 20 years, what branch, it doesn't matter. We need to come together and we need to start advocating for all veterans, to help all veterans. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. We have to help all veterans, okay? Because remember, what helped me and my family may help you and your family one day, all right? So,
the commonalities outweigh the differences.
Yes.
And if we pull together through our commonalities, rather than focusing on our differences, oh, you were Coast Guard and I was Marine, you know, we can find a lot more safety and a lot more compassion and camaraderie, a lot more help, because I know that what I've gone through, I can pass on to a lot more people, because I know that I'm not getting the help that I need. So a Wounded Warriors Behind Bars is initiating so that we can help those that are not getting what I didn't get.
Now, that's very, very important. You guys have to know my co-host right here is doing a great job. We're talking about Wounded Warriors Behind Bars. Now, a lot of us don't know how many veterans are behind bars.
Yeah, 40% of the incarcerated population are veterans. Now, 50% of the veteran population is over 65. There are still Vietnam veterans locked up for life over cannabis charges.
That means marijuana, people. They're still locked up over 65 years for smoking or carrying.
Or just cannabis charges. I'm not knowledgeable enough. We do have some people that are now researching to find out how many are still locked up for life or for long-term incarceration for cannabis charges, because cannabis, and this is one of our controversial topics,
right,
cannabis is going to be becoming legal, in my opinion. This is my opinion, in a relative amount of time. You know, hemp is legal now. So,
yeah, been legal.
Well,
yeah,
for a
Kentucky,
minute.
yeah.
For a minute.
Yeah.
So, you know, with these kind of staggering numbers, I mean, 40% of the incarcerated population, and then 50% of the veterans are over 65. This is the Vietnam generation. And with that passing away, you know, in the next block of time, we're looking at a whole nother set of kind of veterans.
So again, you know, this is echo what she's saying. Again, very controversial statement. I know a lot of people out there don't approve of marijuana. There's a whole organization out there, Warriors for Weed.
Weed for Warriors.
That's another organization. Listen, if y'all guys are part of the organization, call us. We want to bring y'all guys in. Matter of fact, if y'all guys have any topics that y'all like to discuss here on We're the Veteran TV show, bring it. We love to have you. Any topics that y'all want to discuss. If we say something that y'all guys want to rebuttal or y'all disagree with, come on the show. We would love to have you. Talking about some topics, right? Now we're going to be discussing, maybe not today, but in the future, right? Some topics are Wounded Warriors Behind Bars.
Yeah. The incarcerated population. You know, a lot of people don't talk about people in prison because they think they're all rapists and sex offenders and pedophiles. But there are people that just get into situations like that, and I won't even begin to get into the situations that end up people in prison. And for me, I was incarcerated for cannabis charges. I had 12 6-inch cannabis plants, and I got mandatory minimum. And I met some of the most wonderful people when I was in prison. And we've become very endeared, lifelong friends.
Listen, people, again, you never know when that situation happened that you wind yourself up behind bars, right? It don't have to be a criminal act. You know,
you could just be with someone and they do something that you don't even know about. You'd be sitting in the car and next thing you know, bang, you are hemmed up for 25 years. That's exactly what, you know, some of those people are there for. So you just don't know. You can't be judging people. That's why I say we have to come to the commonalities rather than the differences.
Right.
You know.
And it can happen to any one of us. I mean, don't think it won't happen to you. So some of the topics, again, some of the topics we're going to be talking about is wounded warriors behind bars. We're also going to be talking about the codes. They're very important that you look at the codes. We're going to give y'all guys a close-up shot in the next show. We're going to have this printed out because we have this introducing y'all guys to me and my co-hosts, all right? So this sheet has a lot of the codes that we're going to be talking about, and the next show y'all going to see it printed up. And if you want a copy, go email us and we'll get you a copy.
Well, these are the electronic code of federal regulations. And once you become familiar with the Code of Federal Regulations, these are the diagnostics. And they tell you what they're looking for when you go to your doctors and exams and stuff.
And it's very important to know those codes, right?
Well, it's a language.
Right.
It's a language.
That jargon that you must know, because whenever you write that form, there's certain terminology that you have to put on that paper for the doctors to give it to the board, and they read that.
It's when you go to your primary care doctor and he or she writes in your record, so that when the VA gets your record, they see that term in your record that matches up with what's in the code. Bang, bang.
So that's what we got to do. We're going to give you that information. Some of the other topics that we will be discussing, maybe not today, is also families of veterans who need information. Now, a lot of veterans, they are incarcerated, or they are in battle, or they're in, how we call it?
Transition.
Transition, right?
Transition and adjustment. That's what we do, is transition and adjustment.
Right.
And a lot of incarcerated veterans, families don't realize that the incarcerated veteran only gets 10%, but the family is entitled to the rest.
Exactly. Repeat that again, because see, the family's being penalized. If you don't have this information, you're being penalized. That cycle of the mother have to go out there and work 4 jobs while the children run around, get in trouble, go to jail, get incarcerated because there's no parenting. But this, every little bit stops the next domino effect. So repeat that what you just said, please.
Is that the incarcerated veteran's only entitled to 10%, but the family is entitled to the rest. So by obtaining the benefits for the incarcerated veteran, we're actually benefiting the family as well. So by getting that 100%, because that dude's locked up, or that person, man or woman, is locked up for 50 years, and they can get their 100%, well, they get 10%, but then the family gets that other 90%.
Right. And that's why we're advocating for, listen, you can not agree with everything that we say. You can hate me. You can, whatever. What's still important, we have to come together. We have to help each other. We have to help each other, advocate for each other. So, again, the topics are, I'll repeat again. I'm going on my list. I'm going to repeat for those people just coming in. Wounded warrior behind bars. My co-host is going to talk a lot more about that. Codes for disability, we're going to talk a lot about that. Also, she and I together are planning a holiday event. You want to tell a little bit about that, please?
Well, I would like to see the community come together for a thanks for giving. Because with the holidays coming up, people are doing early shopping and they're spending a lot of money, before the holidays. So before we spend a lot of money on the holidays, let's raise a little money for some of the organizations and some of the people before we spend our money on the holidays, and bring some awareness to some of the other issues. We're wounded warriors behind bars are not just the incarceration bars. They are the invisible bars that we live with. Not just veterans, but all kinds of people. Doctors that deal with the veterans, and just mental health issues, homeless issues, just being in transition, that adjustment disorders. I'm brain injured, but I'm intelligent. So I fall in this little niche, this conundrum of, I can be walking down the street like everybody else, and people are, oh, you got to try and be normal, No, I cannot. No, I have to live who I am, because those invisible bars are put on me, not just by my own self, but by others, because I appear to be one thing, and really I'm a woman of color. I'm an Apache Viking, and that really can cause me some problems sometimes, because I can get unruly. I can get real unruly.
Well, this is what we're talking about, the unseen wound, right?
Yeah.
What we call the unseen wounded, right? A lot of times you can see a person who's amputated, missing a limb, but a person who also is suffering from a mental condition, you don't know that. And believe me, we gonna go. But let's go back to the topics, right? So, families who need help with information, right? Whether it is incarcerated, whether it's dealing with Veterans Court. How many out there don't know that there's a veteran court that can prevent some of this incarceration, right? We're going to talk a little bit more about that, right? Burial information. A lot of veterans and members are passing away. They're at an age now they're passing away, right? So we're going to be talking about that. And sometimes not even an age. Sometimes they just got wounded. They caught something. They come back home and they get in a scuffle. There's something going on that the veterans lose their life. So the family got to have that information, how they go about burial. All right, so let's talk about also the topics we're going to be talking about, wives of deceased veterans. There's so many calls we get constantly, like pretty much every day.
I'm a wife of a deceased veteran. I'm a widow.
Right. And see, that's what's important. They deserve to get that money, and they go through a lot of trouble being denied and all that. So we're going to talk about how to go about getting that, and more information for all your wives, even husbands out there, because there's husbands who lost their wife who's in the military. So for all those who lost their spouse, you need information, get in contact with us. We also will be talking about children of deceased veterans. This is very, very important, because a lot of children of veterans don't know the benefits that you can get. That's major. We talk about going to college. We talk about jobs, startup jobs. They talk about there's money for y'all guys out there, but you got to get it. If you don't get that money, somebody's going to get it. Somebody who may not deserve it as much as you.
There's a lot of conditionals, and so if you know what the conditionals are.
Yes.
And the important thing is to get the while active duty or while the children are young. So if we can get that, because I missed out on getting some things for my children while they were young.
Right.
And knowing what was available for my children.
Right. That's why the information we got is so very important. That's why you have to watch the show. I'm just giving us an all-in plug. You got to watch the show, because we got information for the children of deceased veterans. Some of the other topics we're going to be talking about is families who's about to lose their loved ones who are a veteran, who have been veterans or deceased.
Or how to get the services you need when whether it's your partner or your parent is declining and you can no longer assist them at home.
Assisted living.
Whether they need hospice at home, whether they need to be hospitalized, or whether they need to go to a facility. So there are options, because a lot of times they say, oh, well, they need to go to the hospital or they need to go to the convalescent home. When in actuality, you can have the hospice in your own home, and they can die in their own home.
Yes.
They don't have to die in some facility somewhere. Right. My husband died at Richmond VA Medical Center.
My condolences. Another thing we will be talking about, very dear to a lot of us, is legalizing weed. That's right, marijuana. All right. So there's been a lot of studies. FDA is doing a whole bunch of studies on marijuana, the effects of marijuana. And again, didn't we just say from the beginning that we're going to be talking some controversial subjects? right? It's gonna be controversial. I know a lot of you guys out there, y'all guys don't agree with us, y'all don't agree with our stand, that's okay, but guess what? We still gotta come together, right?
Well, you know, for me, I've been denied my medical plan that I had pre-incarceration, and that involved opiates. Now that I am post-incarcerated, I'm denied that plan, whether it's because of the opioid policy or my incarceration. They're not telling me, but I'm denied it all the same. So I don't have an alternative, and cannabis is my only choice. And I'm having a really hard time finding the kind of cannabis that I need for my neurological, my spinal cord and my brain injury. But I've become very knowledgeable.
Yeah, right.
And I do believe, and so what I'm doing is I'm bringing my knowledge to the VA Medical Center, and I'm telling him, look, dude, if you're not in the loop, you are out of the loop and you're out of a job.
That's right.
And I actually met a mental health provider yesterday who knew the difference between an indica and a sativa. And I said, you know, that is so important to me.
Tell our viewers, please.
I said, that is so important to me, because to have a doctor know the difference between what I call it indica, because that, excuse my language, because it fucks you up and lays you on the couch, you know, and a sativa, because for me, an indica that will plug into my receptors, it makes me like have a stroke, like it just, because I'm partially paralyzed, and then I'll start to droop, and I'll get all, you know, and I'll literally drool, and it's a very sad thing to see. So the I'm taking it, and I'm also making them fully aware that MDMA and psilocybin are being used as therapeutic treatment in many places, as well as being legalized.
So listen, again, I just got a whole bunch of information that I didn't know. That's why you gotta watch the show. I'm just saying right now, I'm giving us a plug. You gotta watch the show. We're gonna be coming on, we're gonna be trying to make sure we are going to be scheduling to come on at least once a week. And you might say it's more than that, but we're going to at least be scheduled to come on once a week. So, y'all guys, if you have any questions right now, y'all can, you know, throw us an email.
Well, you can call my number at 540-414-5511. If you can't call that outside the 202 area code, it's 202-525-3080. And yeah, we've got information on any topic that you can imagine, because, you know, these invisible bars cross all communities.
And that's very, very important what she's saying, because no matter who you are, where you are subject, you might be subject to something that you're not comfortable with. All right, so let's remember that we have to advocate each other. I'm gonna leave y'all guys this. If y'all guys are doing anything, any type of barbecue, any type of event that have veterans, and y'all like for us to be there, please give us like a 30-day heads up, and we'll be there. If there's anything going on in the community, by all means, help out. Now, I'm gonna say this: we are a 501c3. We need your help. We need your donations. She is
501c4.
So that means that we need your help. We need your donations. Monetary is always good, but if you have something that you want to give a vet, some clothing, some food, or whatever, make sure that we can handle it, because sometimes we cannot. So the best way to help us is with monetary donations. We are 501c3 and 501c4, so you can actually write it off at the end of the year. Do you have anything else to say?
IRS.gov list, and I have over 45 individual and family members that we support, that are you know, incarcerated in the federal and state levels, and a few of the people that I've been working with that were lifers and long-termers have been released, and we're following up with, and it's very exciting, and I look forward to more episodes and hearing from some people about what you want to hear about, and
very, very important.
Yeah. And
let us know what you want. because we need money, but in order to keep the show going, and attorney fees, clothing, when these people go to court, they need to look proper. Transportation is always important. Staff, maybe y'all guys don't understand. But
and some of these people in the prison just need food.
Yes.
We interviewed a young lady on Saturday that has a special diet.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not feeding her correctly,
right.
And so just a little bit of money that she can get, she can go to the corner store and get
right.
something to eat.
Right. That's very, very important. Today we was actually in Baltimore with our good friends Hope on Wheels. If y'all guys didn't see the show this morning, y'all missed a really good show. Hope on Wheels is actually an organization with our good friend Dr. Patricia Williams, and she's out in Baltimore. She have a show called organization Hope on Wheels. They actually have a bus that have a laundromat that you can wash. Anybody on the streets, anybody, if you're in transition, could literally take your clothes free, as long as you sign the paper, let them know. You can wash your clothes and dry your clothes. And they got because some of our friends live in woods, mm-hmm. They actually got this machine that will kill any type of insects, all right?
Vermin.
So, yeah, any vermin, right? So, big shout out to them. They actually also have a toilet, right? That you can actually go, they have 3 private toilets that you can actually utilize.
They miss when you was in that Yoda kicking doors. I call that they don't like to see you winning.
It's 16:20.
You went up in a tantrum. I need me a little baby who gon' listen.
You don't wish to take a shower, put on the same dirty clothes. They actually have clothes out there that you can put on. Some of the things are new, and they donations. So again, when you donate to us, you're donating to a whole bunch of people, young mothers, young fathers. You're donating to them as well. And remember, we need each and everybody help. Each and everybody, because we plan to help each and everybody. If you're a veteran of a family, we plan to help you. Closing remarks, please.
Oh yeah, one of the family members that we have, she was the daughter of a veteran who came through ER. And rather than buying disposable diapers, we bought reusable diapers. And it's like, I can just imagine how a couple of generations like, oh yeah, Grandma Nora was using cloth diapers, And nobody's going to remember that Wounded Warriors Behind Bars got that, but that's not the important part.
Right.
And that's not the important part, that we just want to make sure that everybody's taken care of. We take care of the tribe. And you know what? We're all part of the tribe because we're all veterans. We all served. We served because that's what we thought we had to do.
Yes.
And so we make that transition, whatever that transition is.
Yes.
Whether it's from homelessness, whether it's from active duty, whether it's from separation from family because of whatever reason. We were talking about, suicide attempts,
right.
That created the division in the family, and the dude's like, I don't understand why she's leaving me. Well, you've attempted suicide 4 times.
Yeah.
That really takes a toll.
And that's going to be another topic we will be talking about. I didn't list it today, but the effects of mental illness and how mental illness spread. So we're going to close out.
Yep.
And y'all guys, make sure y'all guys stay in touch with us. Remember, your host, my lovely co-host,
Robin.
And I am your man, Abdul Shaheed. Until the next time, remember, we, the veterans. Bam. Yeah. That's right. Abdul Shaheed. Yeah, try to say that 5 times. Abdul Shaheed. Abdul Shaheed. Abdul Shaheed. Abdul Shaheed.